Hey guys, welcome back to the live stream. Today, as always, we are going to be algo trading the ES futures. As you can see, the market is about to open, and it just opened. We are actually going to be arming it in both directions. Like always, this time we're going with a trend mode opening. If we get some absorption at the 39.67 level and the 39.60 level, we're going to switch it into regression mode. If it ends up pushing, if we get filled into a long trade and it pushes through those levels, or if we get pushed into a short trade and it breaks through this 39.60 level, which is more likely because there's no absorption here, we're going to be leaving it in trend mode. But if we get stopped out of our first trade, regardless, because we're in trend mode, we're going to be switching it into regression. Okay, so we got filled into a long trade here. It looks like our take profit is actually in between those two levels I called out earlier. So if we get filled on this trade, which I think we're going to here on this specific move, I've already preemptively switched it into regression so that we can get, basically if there's an instantaneous fill right after this, we can take advantage of that. So here, if it pushes above that by a significant margin, we're gonna switch it back into trend mode unless Delta collapses. Right now, Delta is holding strong in the bullish direction, so we're keeping it in the, we're looking at it. It's not off of our radar just yet. We haven't decided 100% that we're staying in regression here, but if we get some more confirmation, we might have to switch it into trend mode. Okay, so here it looks like we got filled finally into a short trade. Our stop loss is actually above where we marked that level earlier. I mean, that's kind of expected. And our take profit is actually below here. Here, we're actually only going to be arming in the short direction. And the reason for this is because we're a little bit too high to be able to be doing it in both directions here. Usually, I like to be more neutral bias. Off the market open recently, since adversary detection came out, I've just been arming it in both directions. This time I'm actually going to be arming it in one direction only. This is kind of the first time I've done this on stream, and that's why I think you guys need a little bit more explanation. Okay, as you can see, price has now made its way to the middle. Okay, there we go. We actually got filled there into a long trade. This can take some explanation. We waited for price to close around near the middle of those two yellow bands that we had marked. We were armed only in the short direction because we wanted a long fill there, but we switched it into arm both because it was in the middle of that bar. Here, one sec, I gotta arm it again. Okay, so just another explanation. We armed it in both directions once price made its way near the top. Now, since we have less information up near at this upper level than we do at the lower level, we're actually in both directions because we could get a long fill for what would be short, or we could get a short fill and it could be long. We don't know if price is going to break out or not, so we're letting the system decide that by itself. We just had more information down here that we wanted specifically a long fill than we do up here. So now we're in both directions, if that makes sense. Also, I want to point out this 640 level here. This is the first touch that we had that we marked this level all the way back at 557. So after this, if we push through there, we're going to try and go long, or I'm sorry, we're going to switch it into trend mode if it passes through this zone. So at least the next time it passes that zone, if that makes sense. Also, for those of you who are trading manual order flow, who are trying to do a first touch strategy, this level would have been marked pretty easily even previously. And if it touched this level, and because delta was low in the positive direction, you could have gone short there immediately. Just a little heads up. Another zone that we're going to be paying attention to is this zone all the way up here, the 3975 through 3975.5. These are triple stacked imbalances that happened earlier at 529. These were extremely dominant divergences. You can see that 90, 0, 90, 0, 132, 0. Sorry, 90, 14, 90, 0, 132, 0. So what that means is that if price makes its way all the way up here, on that first touch, we're going to go short because these were extremely dominant, or at least we're going to be arming short, looking for another stacked imbalance in real time. So, and that is going to be in trend mode because we want to take it in that direction. Okay, so there's that fill. We're going to be arming it in both directions again, leaving it in regression mode. We're not touching it until it passes through this zone or this zone. We're leaving it in regression unless there is some insane thing that happens with delta in between now and then. In between now and then. Hope you guys are able to follow. I actually think this is a perfect opportunity for us to use auto arm. So we're going to be putting in auto arm here because this range has kind of extended quite a bit. And you can look at delta here. We're getting this first touch divergence. We got that 43 there. So yeah, we got filled there. So here, it's either if it passes through this red line and closes there, we get filled into a trend trade. And as long as there's a triple stacked imbalance. And here, if we pass through this green line and it closes there, we get filled into a long trade. As you can see, there was a triple stacked imbalance that showed up and disappeared. If we were armed both, we actually would have gotten filled there, but we want it to close here. So we're waiting for some additional confirmation. We got that first touch earlier. We have a pretty high likelihood of pushing through, especially with increasing delta. We have 500% increased delta from the previous bar. So we're looking for a long bias here. So I apologize if my commentary seems a little bit convoluted. Remember that trading is stressful, and I'm trying to give you guys a pretty realistic insight into the decisions I'm making, and turning those thought processes into actionable commentary is actually pretty taxing while maintaining a pretty good head on my shoulders in terms of trading. So just a little bit of understanding from you guys would be highly appreciated. It looks like if we get filled above this green line, it would be a 12 point, and from that 12 point would be all the way up into this red zone that was marked automatically by the analytic chart 4. So if we get filled on this trade here, we are going to be immediately arming short only, or you would do regressive long, but I prefer the conditional short, because if you were in regressive long, there is also a chance that there was a large enough imbalance for it to push through this zone without any kind of resistance prior, if that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so we got filled there. And I want to make it clear that if we get stopped out here, we are going to be switching the strategy onto arm both and regressive mode. So we're already deciding that based on no other convoluting factors, that if it hits our stop loss, we're going to go into regressive mode because it's re-entering this range. And then if we get filled, we have already queued up the arm short in trend mode due to this red zone that has automatically been marked prior. Just a little recap. I don't know if you guys are just joining the stream. It's probably kind of confusing for you guys to watch if you didn't start from the beginning, but fortunately, YouTube keeps these lives up after, where you guys can rewatch them, analyze, go through and play back, and trade it yourself. So Well, that is certainly interesting. We now see this formation of this green zone. You can see here we actually got a triple stacked long bounce right at this red line. So you would have gotten filled short there if you had gone with the regression trend option. I don't know if that was the right option. I don't know if I just missed out on a nice trade here, but if it pushes through, we probably did. But I do have a lot of confidence in this level given how big of a disparity those imbalances were for that red line to form. We actually closed above that red line. We actually might have made the wrong decision here, but I don't know, it's poking its head back down. So we saw the formation of these two green imbalance zones, which actually gives me a little bit less confidence in this possible short trade, but we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it. See, if it ends up closing above this green reverse trade line. Okay, there's our short fill. Okay, so with this green reverse strength or this green imbalance zone, I'm not super confident in this trade. So I got just as much information as you guys here. You know, we're gonna leave it. We're gonna stick with it. There's no reason for us to change anything. I was thinking about moving my take profit to at least the bottom of that, and then moving my stop loss up to above the green reverse trade zone, but it just doesn't seem worth it. That would just skew my risk reward too much, and there's no data to back that would help me. So fortunately, this imbalance stuck. That triple stacked imbalance is sticky. We got 4 of them there, and the bar actually closed with those being valid. So that does help us a lot. We have so many different zones here that I'm probably going to take a step back. If this trade ends up filling or stopping out, I'm probably going to take a step back and call it. I might start trading later in the day today again. I might come back, but it's just really hard to get a read on it when there's this many bands over here. So as you can see, this band actually extended through. So when that happens, it's in a cluster like that, you really want to avoid trading anything but regression. But even then, it's a lot lower probability than if you were trading a regressive zone down here. Okay, so there's that fill. Like I said before, I cannot read this. This is just kind of scary to me, this area. So given we walked away with actually 0 losses in about 20 minutes, and we got $5,000 in profit, I'd say that's a pretty good trading day. You know, since we're using a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, just a couple of losses can really prolong how you're trading. I'm trading with a $5,000 profit target each day. You know, I'm okay with that. I'm not extending higher, especially with these live streams. I think that's kind of a lot of pressure on me. I don't do super well with higher contracts. I find myself slipping up and making incorrect decisions based on irrational emotions. But, you know, we're trying to dial that in. I think these live streams is really good practice for operating under stress and being able to perform under stress. So hopefully we can actually, at least by the end of the year, be at 10 contracts. This isn't a liquidity problem or an account size problem. It's just a performance problem with me being at the helm, you know? So we all have our flaws. That's mine. I'm trying to recognize that and work on it. But, you know, I think that we had a really, really stellar market open trading session today. Super solid. I think this will help you guys a lot with the fundamentals. I think that my commentary was pretty clear today, able to get you guys a good understanding of what I'm saying. So I actually also recorded this live streaming session along with my previous live streaming session. So I think I'm going to do a recap on at least one of those, if not both. So you'll see a little bit more of a, you know, hindsight, what I did right, what I did wrong type thing. I think I kind of got it right on the nail on the head today. So we'll see. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are as excited about the Analytica Chart 4 as I am. Reminder, this comes out on March 10th. If you already own the Analytica Chart 3, either through the bundle or just owning it standalone, you will automatically receive an email stating that you own the analytics chart for now. So you'll get that as a downloadable attachment. No actions necessary. You'll just install it the same way. And there'll be a whole video explaining everything. So I hope you guys had a wonderful trading open like I did. And I will see you guys very soon. Have a good day.